All right, let's put on our detective hats because today we're solving a chemical mystery. It all starts with what looks like a totally blank piece of paper, but trust me, it's hiding a secret. This is a journey into the chemistry that's hidden in plain sight, all around us.
So think about it for a second. An empty page, and then bam, a hidden message just appears. You might think, is that magic? Or is it just some really cool science we can all understand? Well, let's find out.
So our story kicks off at a school's science fair. Picture two siblings, Ashwin and Kirti. They get handed this blank sheet of paper. A volunteer then sprays it with some liquid, and just like that, the words, "Welcome to the wonderful world of science," pop into view. So how on earth did they do that? To crack this case, we need to start thinking like detectives. We're going to gather some clues, figure out the secret identities of the substances involved, and see exactly how they interact. You ready to join the investigation? Okay, every good investigation starts with lining up the suspects. And in the world of chemistry, pretty much every substance falls into one of three categories. It's either an acid, a base, or it's neutral. Getting to know these three is absolutely the first step to cracking our case. So here are our two main players, side by side. On one side, you've got acids. Think of lemon juice or vinegar. They're usually sour, and they have this one famous trick. They turn blue litmus paper red. On the flip side, you've got bases, like soap or baking soda. These guys often feel slippery, taste better, and do the exact opposite. They turn red litmus paper blue. They're like perfect chemical opposite. And then you have the neutrals. You can think of them as the Switzerland of the chemical world. They just don't pick a side. Things like pure water or a sugar solution, they won't change the color of litmus paper at all. They just stay out of it. Now here's a really important point. We obviously can't go around tasting strange chemicals to see if they're sour or bitter. I mean, that would be incredibly dangerous. So how do real chemical detectives identify their suspects safely? Well, they need a special tool. And that tool is called an indicator. Seriously, think of it like a secret decoder ring for chemicals. It's a substance that actually changes color when it touches an acid or a base, instantly blowing its cover and revealing its true identity. And check this out. This is that classic litmus test in action. It's kind of like dusting for chemical fingerprints. You add a drop of lemon juice to blue litmus, and boom, it goes red. Confirmed, it's an acid. The soap solution makes red litmus turn blue, identifying it as a base. And tap water? Nothing. No change at all. It's neutral. See? A clean, simple result for our investigation. But here's the absolute best part. You don't need some fancy, expensive lab to find these secret decoders. Nature is full of them. The beautiful color in red roses, the turmeric sitting in your spice cabinet, even the color of hydrangea flowers in a garden. They're all natural indicators. In fact, you can become a chemical detective right in your own kitchen. It's so easy. As you can see here, all you have to do is crush up some red rose petals, add some hot water, and voila, you've just created your very own indicator solution. It's that simple to start playing with nature's chemistry. Okay, so now we can identify our acids and our bases. But what happens when these two opposites actually come face to face? Well, it leads to this really powerful and super useful chemical showdown. The reaction is called neutralization, and it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. The acid and the base literally cancel each other out. The sourness from the acid, gone. The bitterness and slipperiness of the base, gone. You're just left with something, well, neutral. And here's the secret recipe for that reaction. When an acid and a base get together, they don't just vanish, they totally transform. They become a salt and just plain old water, and they release a little bit of heat while they're at it. This simple formula is actually the key to solving a whole bunch of everyday problems. Yeah, this isn't just theory for a chemistry class. Neutralization is happening all around us, all the time, from what's happening in your garden to what's happening inside our own bodies. Let's look at a couple of quick examples. Ouch! Anyone who's felt the sting of a red ant bite knows that pain. But what's really going on? Well, that ant is injecting a tiny amount of an acidic liquid. It's called formic acid, right into your skin. So what's the fix? You guessed it, neutralization. By just rubbing a mild base, like some wet baking soda on the bite, you neutralize that formic acid. The base cancels out the acid, and just like that, the pain starts to fade. It's simple chemistry to the rescue. Farmers are basically master chemists. They use this principle all the time. If their soil gets too acidic, maybe from fertilizers, plants just won't grow well. The solution? They add a base, like lime, to neutralize it. And if the soil's too basic, they do the opposite, adding something acidic, like compost, to bring it all back to neutral. It's all about finding that perfect balance.
All right, detectives, we've gathered all our evidence. We know our suspects, acids and bases. We've got our secret decoder, our indicators, and we know their signature move, neutralization. It's time to head back to that science fair and solve this mystery once and for all.
So, with everything we've just learned, can you piece it all together? How would you create an invisible message on a piece of paper that only appears when you spray it with a certain liquid? And here's how they pulled it off. It was such a clever two-step trick. First, they wrote the message using an invisible base, something simple like soap water. Once it dried, it completely vanished. Then came the big reveal. The spray bottle was filled with a natural indicator, a turmeric solution. Now, turmeric is yellow, but when it touches a base, it instantly turns red. So, wherever that invisible soap message was written, the paper flashed red and the words appeared. It wasn't magic at all, just some very, very smart chemistry.
And you know what? You've probably seen this exact same chemical reaction at home and not even realized it. Just like this person noticed, if you get a yellow curry stain, which has turmeric in it, on a white shirt, what's the first thing you do? You scrub it with soap, which is a base. And for a moment, that stain flashes bright red. It's the very same science from the science fair mystery.
And that leaves us with one final thought. Now that you're basically a chemical detective, what other cool combinations can you think of? What other secret messages could you write using all the different natural indicators and household acids and bases that are probably sitting in your kitchen right now? The secrets aren't just in a lab. They're right there, waiting for you to discover them.